O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
This is Sister Sajdah Muhammad. We are proud to announce that the Sajdah House commemorative Elijah coins are finally here. As we renovate and restore the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we have recycled the old copper gutters and downspouts and created a 1-ounce 39mm coin made of 100% pure copper. Each coin is professionally graded and has its own barcode and registration number. This priceless heirloom, made from recycled copper from the messenger's home, is now available at sajdahhouse.com.
You belong to yourself. You're an independent people, created from the nation of free people. Yes, sir. You don't need to go nowhere but to yourself. Yes, sir. There will be a great separation. Yes, sir. So I said, it is on now.
The college is meant to prepare you for your future. That the time dictates that if we don't do something for ourselves as a people, we will be destroyed. And the aim of the enemy right now is to take us out.
We have God with us. We have Him as our guide. Yes, sir. We don't have to stand around here and ask the question, what must be done? Yes, sir. And let's go and do something. Yes, sir. We cannot sit down. We cannot lay down. Yes, sir. We must get up. Yes, sir. And go to work.
Do you know what real joy is in life? Visioning something and bringing it into reality. That's real joy. Do you know what the next step in joy is? Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell in unity.
Tonight, you need to fasten your seatbelts. We're going to hear from some of the greatest minds in the world. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of trusting our future and the future of our children into the hands of those who don't love us. I believe we need to revitalize black leadership.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design, some people say it's even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. 'Cause all I see is a tower of dreams, real love bursting out of every scene. We're gonna fill our house with happiness, but we'll smother the blues with tenderness. There's room for you, room for me, for gentle hearts and opportunity. It's the bigger love of the family.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Welcome, welcome. Excuse me, we had a few little technical glitches trying to get on here. I was actually first on my laptop, and then the Wi-Fi just went wonky. So I had to run and grab my iPad, and I ended up switching us like right in the middle of the opening. So I hope you all can hear me okay. Thank you for all the greetings. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. And I don't know how the Wi-Fi or anything is going to hold up for us, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? So I am on the grind, working, doing speaking engagements, and I hope y'all can see me okay. Speaking engagements and working to, raise our money and enhance our brand. And so I'm just out here in the field. Thank you all for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And again, sorry for the technical glitches. I am, like I said, doing a speaking engagement. I am getting an award tonight from a women's organization called the Global Empowered Woman Award. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about that as well. I'm down here in sunny Florida. You all can see the ocean. And y'all see the ocean behind me? It's a little glare. When I first started, the sun was in a different place, but at least you can see the sun and the breeze and all of that flowing. And so the talk that I'm doing is primarily based on my book, The Mind of an Entrepreneur. Some of you all have it. Some of y'all been fussing at me like, when is part 2 coming out? And I don't know yet. It's done though. So I just have to get it done. I just have to get it out there. But really what I'm talking about this weekend, thank you, Brother Anthony. What I'm talking about this weekend is really the concept of marginalization and what happens to us as people who are marginalized or people who are outside of a certain circle of influence. That could be because of your race. It could be because of your religion. It could be just because in your family you're different. But when you become marginalized, the emotions attached to that marginalization can be very painful. And I wanted to talk today because I was asked a question yesterday. And I don't know if somebody asked just to kind of be jazzy or smart or what, I don't know. But they said, as Black people, they see this movement of, they call it a new movement of doing for self and separation and Black businesses and Black Muslim businesses. And they said, why not work harder to try to improve the system instead of saying we want our own? And I said, okay. I said, that's an interesting question because I think it's strange to ask somebody. It's like saying to somebody, why do you want your own car? Why don't you just ride with somebody? I think it's a weird question, but I said, all right, we're going to handle it like this. And I said, and this was to a group of women, and I said, who don't look like me. Um, if I told you that I was in a relationship with somebody and that the person abused me and that the person withheld opportunities from me and that the person literally was brainwashing me and almost like holding me captive, they let me move around a little bit, but as soon as I go where they don't want me to go, when I get back, they abuse me, or if I go there, I'm abused. And I said, what if I told you, and I could be a man or a woman. I could be a woman in a relationship with a man who's abusing me like that, or a man in a relationship with a woman, because men get abused like this too. I said, and what if I told you that they wouldn't let me go to the schools that I wanted to go to? What if I told you that he didn't want me to shop at certain places? What if I told you that oftentimes, if he felt like it, he could just beat me or threaten to kill me or kill my sister or my family? What if I told you that I've been calling the police, I've been going to court, I've been doing everything I could to try to get this person to stop abusing me, and I don't know what to do, and I don't own anything, or what I do own is so small, it's not enough to give me power to leave and go out on my own? What would you tell me to do? You would tell me to divorce, separate, or get away from this person. And they all nodded their heads. And then the one woman, she felt like, okay, she got us on that one. And then she said, well, what about this obsessiveness you guys have, in essence, with religion? And I said, all right. I said, let's talk about that. Let's use the same analogy. I said, you all saw What's Love Got to Do with it with Tina Turner. It was her spirituality that gave her the courage to leave. Because when you're in a position where you're powerless, that's the best place to get to know God, because you don't have nothing else but him. So you're sitting there praying. You're like, look, I can't leave this house. I can't do what I want to do. I need a savior. I need somebody who's going to come in and intervene in a way that I can't. Somebody that's going to come in and give me a solution or offer me an opportunity that I can't get on my own. I need some help. A lot of that is what this book is about. It's about being marginalized and needing mental strategies and spiritual strategies to connect us to a power greater than ourselves, to get us up out of this condition and to just put us in a position where we can go and do something for ourselves. So you can't tell me, if I'm in this position with this abusive husband, or if it's a man who's in a position with this abusive wife, to just stay there and try to fix it. He's like, I can't eat what I want. That's like me saying I'm in this relationship, I can't eat what I want. When he feeds me poison. I can only earn a certain amount of money because he doesn't want me to earn an extra amount or an excessive amount of money. I can't educate my own children because he tells me how to educate my children. I mean, what would you tell me to do? And they couldn't even respond. They were just silent. And I just went on and on and on. Literally, anytime somebody tried to change the subject, I kept going on and on and on, describing the relationship as if it's a bad marriage. And I said, you all are always telling people, get out, do something for yourself, be independent, live your life. I said, we can't even do that. So you can't get mad at us for saying we want our own. You can't get mad at a person that doesn't have a car for going down to the dealership and trying to get their own car. It's not right. You can't say that makes sense. If it makes sense to you, then you're an abusive person. It can't make sense. There's no need in you telling me, well, you don't need your own food. Just eat my food. It doesn't make sense. It's time for us to have our own. And it's time for us to tell our own story. And even in this abusive relationship, I talked about, I can't even talk about my mother or my father because he wants me to tell the story the way he wants me to tell it. Or he wants to write the story and I got to read the story that he wrote about me. If you put it in that sense, in that context, it makes absolutely no sense. And so what was interesting is that when I then got back to my hotel, I went to the Holy Quran to look for some support or validation or a surety that I was on the right track in my presentation. Because, yeah, it was about marginalization. It was about my book, but they slipped in the question about why black Muslim. And I said, we're not trying to hurt nobody. We're not trying to do that. We just want our own. That's like you saying, again, if I don't have my own food and I go out to buy my own food, that the very act of me buying my own food is abusive to you or violent to you, all I'm trying to do is go out and eat what I want to eat. I'm just trying to have my own car. I'm just trying to have my own house. I'm just trying to live in a situation where I can educate my own children the way I want to educate my children. I'm just trying to own my own health care. I don't want you telling me that not only is the food that you're feeding me poison and it's giving me a disease, but then I can't heal myself, that I'm doing something wrong if I'm using my own healing and my own remedies because what you've been doing isn't working and you've been abusive in all the rest of the parts of the relationship. I mean, to me, it's just logical. And so nobody's saying, I ain't mad at you. I'm just saying I'm out of here. And like the minister said, I heard him talking about this to, I think it was Rock Newman maybe. And he said, we need a divorce. There's irreconcilable differences. You're killing me in the streets. You're denying me opportunity. You're telling me, Wendy, you're this, you're that, you're a global women of empowerment, you're this, blah, 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 blah. You should be a billionaire, you're bigger than Oprah, blah, blah, blah. But yet, you ask me a question, why black? Why black Muslim? But I'm a global such and such. So I'm not spitting in the face of the award, but I'm just sharing how there's an educational process. And I think those that wanted to get it, they got it. And afterwards, some people came and said, man, I just wanted to, just say thank you for sharing that perspective. And I said, I appreciate you having me here. And I appreciate you allowing me to share that perspective. So there's an event tonight that I'm attending and, we'll see how that goes. But I flew here after that one and I'm going to another one. But the one yesterday was interesting because there were some interesting questions. And then I attended a dinner with this other organization, and it was a dinner of other women of empowerment and women of influence who are also receiving an award tonight. But when I got to my hotel finally, you guys made a few comments. Let me see. Brother Anthony said, the fact that you don't just hold our teachings as ideology theory, but are practically applying them is strong, bearing witness. Oh, thank you, sir. This was an eye-opening for a lot of them. Yeah, really. Sister Sajdah fielding those comments, questions better than a MLB shortstop. Great analogy. Okay, thank you all. So it's just very practical to me. I'm still me. I'm still a good person. I'm still a loving person. And I think the fact that we love God so much is why we even allow this kind of thing to continue. Um, and so when we talked about religion, I just said, we have to have religion. We have to have some kind of answer. I always use this analogy to my friends who have pets. And I say, you know what? You raise your pets. They don't even know how to fend for themselves. They couldn't get their own food to save their life. They can't go down the street. They don't even have the instincts to find their way back home if you take them somewhere. They don't go outside. So the only thing that's going to save them is if God comes to get them, because they don't know how to do anything. Well, this is the type of abusive relationship that we've been in. But the interesting thing with us is that we are looking at other people achieving, other people striving. And so now we're starting to wake up. We're starting to say, you know what? I want out. I want my own. That's like having an ex-husband. You can exist. You go do what you do. Go do your thing. Or having an ex-wife. Go do you. But I got to be the way that I got to be in order to have what I know I need to have, and in order to break out of this situation, or breaking out of this situation with you is what I have to do. And so, and it's not based in dogma. This is just very practical. And then I said to them, I said, so when you question the Black part, the Black businesses, the Black Muslim businesses, the Black ownership, the Black separation, when you question that, let me help you with that, because I've been in this abusive relationship with you. So when you question me on why Black this, why that, then if I was still that abuse victim, then I would respond very angrily and very aggressive. I said, but because I accept my own and I am myself, because that is what my teacher taught me, to accept my own and to be myself, I'm okay with who you are, just like I want you to be okay with who I am. And I believe that me knowing who I am is what will help me to get out of this abusive situation, because many of us just can't take it no longer. You just can't take it. So I talked a little bit also about Tina Turner and what's love got to do with it. And I said, here's another thing. You all may be sitting there going, it ain't that bad. We give to humanity. We do this, we do that. And I said, let me give you this an example. In What's Love Got to Do with It, we saw the illustration of Ike abusing Tina. And she had to go to her spirituality, her Buddhism, to get out of the relationship, or to give herself that strength and that courage. And I said, but when the movie came out, there were people who knew Ike Turner who were very upset, because the Ike Turner that they knew gave to the poor. He gave out turkeys on Thanksgiving. He supported people who were downtrodden. He helped a lot of people. So people were really upset that movie came out, and they kind of squashed it because, they threw the media because they wanted the movie to be successful. And I said, but you know what? It doesn't change the fact that he was abusing her. Two things can be true. Two things can be true at the same time. So I think sometimes this black and white mindset that we have, where it's either this or that, is something that is a way of thinking, and it's a very basic way of thinking that you all have pushed us as a people to use as a process to analyze things. What do I mean by that? Are you with Martin or are you with Malcolm? You with Booker T or are you with W.E. Du Bois? So it's always this or that. And it's never using critical thinking and analysis and evaluating on a certain level. It's never that. It's never saying, I can be with both of them. I can choose principles and thought patterns and mindset strategies from Martin Luther King, and I can also get those same additional thought strategies from Malcolm X. So what happens is in our community, because they push us into this sort of black, white way of thinking, then if they cancel somebody, then we're forced to make a decision because we don't think that there's another way to think or process things. So once they cancel you, they go, okay, that person's canceled, so you can't. And this is probably a bad analogy. Everybody gonna get mad. It's like R. Kelly. It's like saying, yeah, he did some of this stuff, but he's also a musical genius. Two things can occupy the same space. So in the case with Ike and Tina, I can make good music, and I probably did give to the poor. He also abused his wife. So two things can occupy the same space. What do I mean? I mean that you can abuse us as a people, but you can go out and feed the poor. You can go to other countries and stand up for their humanity, and you can come back home and abuse your wife and children over here. So to don't pigeonhole me into being a simpleton. I'm smarter than that. I know how to critically think. I know how to solve complex problems. I know how to use reasoning and deductive reasoning. I know how to use other forms of thought and analysis other than true or false, or A or B, or black or white. And a lot of us have to be mindful that that's where, oftentimes, where we are, because we get pigeonholed into this or that, black or white kind of thing. And so anyway, so when I got back to my hotel, I was going into the Holy Quran, just seeking some guidance on all of this. And interestingly enough, I turned to, this is my travel Quran. I'm sorry, I've been traveling with this for probably 20 years. This is my travel Quran, but I spent a lot of time on the road. I was thinking about that because people were asking me about being a business consultant. And I'm so happy now to just kind of be settled, because I spent so many years on the road, up and down the country, in this office, working on this project, doing this, doing that. So yeah, so this is one of my road companions right here, this Holy Quran. I remember paying $11 for this, and I was so happy. I'll tell you who I bought it from. I bought it from, this is in the 90s, student minister Abdullah Muhammad, who is over the prison ministry at Mas Mariam. And he was selling these. And I was like, ooh, I had a hardbound, and I needed this softbound copy. And I got it from him. And so this is what I travel with. But anyway, so I turned to the history of Moses and Surah 28. And so I encourage you guys to go out and read that. I won't read it, but in verse 3, it starts, we recite to thee the story of Moses and Pharaoh with truth for people who believe. So Surah 28, and I ended up just reading the whole thing. But it was interesting looking at the study and the history of Moses and how it compared to the side chat that I was having with these people after I spoke. So, but anyway, just to give you an update on, what your sister's been up to. I try to be who I am in whatever environment that I'm in. And I'm still fun. I'm still exciting. I'm still funny. I'm still smart, but I'm still me. And I think that that's important. I don't think that you don't always have to wear who you are on the sleeve. And I think sometimes also we get challenged because people want us to admit or say who we are or who we're with, and that's an effort to create hate or to knock us down a couple pegs. Like, well, she's with so and so. But that doesn't have to matter. And just because you do that, doesn't mean that I then got to get on my soapbox and start going crazy. You open that door, well, now I'm getting ready to teach you. And I'm going to teach you on a practical level so that unless you're crazy, you can't deny it. And that, because at the end of the day, people see us and they see our talent, they see what we do, and it's really the teachings, and it's really Allah flowing, through us when we allow him. And I noticed that the more I embrace the teachings in my spirit, in my soul over the course of the years, the more successful I became, the more I saw myself being moved. Sorry, there's a fly. I saw myself being moved into circles and around people and into situations that I never would have probably gone in on my own had I, just kind of did it the way that society would have dictated it. So it's just important to be us and to be yourself. And I think that's what makes us unique and and interesting. Because, when you don't have a culture, you're not really that exciting. If you come to my house and I cook for you in a way that we were taught to cook by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I infuse some of my Creole background into it and using some recipes from my mom and my grandmother, and that makes for a very interesting meal, right? You go, wow, I got this kind of Muslim Creole type of spicy spiritual mix. That makes it interesting, right? But if I'm generic, if I'm like, I'm just going to try to be something that I'm not, or if I say, no, I don't know my culture, I don't know who I am, so I'm just going to throw something together and I'm going to have this hodgepodge of food. I've been at people's house where they serve Chinese food, spaghetti, and some soul food, and to kind of all mixed together. But the point being is that you become much more interesting when you create a culture and you share your culture, and it makes people really excited to learn. And so I think one of the ways in which, and I shared this, that with the Black Muslim Business Directory, that if we, I'm sorry, I just thought of this. This fly is irritating me. And I just thought about the Holy Quran and how we are so powerless that we can't even get a gnat or a fly to go away. But yet we walk around thinking that we all that. I just thought of that. But yeah, so we have to embrace our culture, right? So when we have certain types of, when you go to certain cultures, you'll have their coffee or their tea or their rice or their food. And that's what makes it interesting. And for us, oftentimes as Black people, we're taught to throw away our culture, and we're not even taught to evolve our culture. And so I like to just create a culture and share a culture and be a culture. And that's what I do. I do that in my style, my vibe, my dress. How do I represent? I represent that culture. So that's what that is. Something else I was going to tell you all. You all know that some of y'all know that I've been really working on a perfume line for a couple of years now, just trying to get fragrances and all that kind of stuff. And just to get that one signature Sajdah fragrance. And there's a certain fragrance that I love, and I'm just playing around with it. And what I'm finding is that so much of these so-called natural oils and stuff are really just chemicals that they claim are natural oils. And I had somebody yesterday, I actually had it on my mind, because right when I left, somebody sent me some samples. A company I was working with in the Middle East sent me some samples And I brought one of them with me, and I was like, okay, let me play with this, let me wear this, let me see how it feels. And somebody came up to me and started talking to me that and telling me that there's a perfume museum in Chicago. Who knew? Who would have thunk it? And I was like, wow, this is such a secret industry, because what happens is what they do in the perfume world is they package the perfumes and then people put their brand on it. Sometimes they mix and match different things, but it's a lot of alcohol and a lot of chemical. And what I wanted to do was just introduce the concept of these natural fragrances changing body chemistry and allowing you to become more meditative and more relaxed and more close to God, and the whole fragrance piece being a spiritual experience, as opposed to just let me splash on a bunch of stuff. And so it's a spiritual approach to how you smell, and put it that way, and how you connect. Because when you wear these fragrances, you can use it to open up your senses and to really be more in tune with the universe, or the earth. And so that was my thing. So the person came up to me, told me, she said, I'm going to be in Chicago. There's a perfume museum there. And I'm like, what? Who knew? And she's really big into the perfume world. And so I only saw her for a couple of minutes at the dinner I went to last night after the first talk I did during the day. And I'm excited to have that conversation, because I was telling her that what I'm finding is that the fragrance that I'm looking for, they use so many different chemicals, but I really want natural herbs and spices. I really want it mined in a very sustainable and natural type of way. It's going to make it expensive, y'all. So when I come out and y'all say, wait, who she thinks she is? She got this little bottle like this and it's $200. If you feel like that, then it's probably not for you. But if you really understand, and I'm going to explain it, we're going to have whole PSAs about what the perfume is, what it does, and how it enhances you, and how it actually changes from person to person, and it changes on your body throughout the day. So I get these business ideas, and I think sometimes Allah's like, go do this and do that. He's been unraveling or revealing to me there's a whole real estate business that he's unfolding with me. So I'm working on that and just jotting down notes and things that just come to me at random times. So I thank y'all for y'all support. I really, really appreciate you. If you have not, donated to Sajdah House, I got the Cash App going across the bottom there. I also want you guys to join the mailing list, because there's so many exciting things. Somebody asked me a question the other day, am I working on a book on the making of Sajdah House? And I am also working on a documentary, and so I'm excited about that as well. I hope you all went out and got your commemorative Elijah coins. If you got them, you're wearing them. Yeah, right. It changes throughout the day. It changes with what happens is, as your mood changes, the chemical releases in your body begin to change, which then should make your fragrance change. So the perfume, or I don't even want to call it a perfume because it sounds very feminine, because it's really actually not. The fragrance will also change. So it's going to smell differently on a man, and it'll smell differently on a woman. It'll smell differently depending on who you are and what your stress levels are. And so but you have to have really natural, you have to start with really natural mixes in order to make that possible. And most of these people out here who say, oh, we sell these natural fragrances or oils, they really don't. They're not real. They're really not. Okay, so thank you all. Thank you all. I really appreciate y'all's support. I appreciate you supporting Sajdah House. We're going to talk with the team about our potential next upcoming 2 events. I got a big surprise for y'all next week. I'm not going to reveal it, but it's big and it's a big honor. And I'm just so grateful for you all support and grateful to be used. All right, so peace and blessings, family. Go to sajdahhouse.com, get your coin, encourage other people to donate. Let me see, let me put across the bottom how you can donate. There it is. So encourage other people to go out and donate. We're trying to raise this money. There's some things that we need to do immediately in the house, and so the push is to, continue to raise this money. And don't feel bad if you don't have large amounts of money to give. You'd be surprised, $50, $100, $1,000. That'll pay a utility bill. It'll pay, landscaping. There's a lot that goes into maintaining large houses like this and large projects like this. You got support staff and all of that kind of stuff. So don't feel bad if you feel like you can't give a whole lot, because anything that you can give, not only is it welcome and it's a blessing, but it will help in some form or fashion. So, all right, you guys, peace and blessings. I see all your wonderful comments. Thank you. Let me see. Let me go back and see what I missed. Magnolia Crescent Orchards. I think that's Sister Karima. Assalamu alaikum, sis. Says there's a paradigm shift taking place that they are out of step with. What you have shared with them will reverberate into circles that you are unaware of, all in Allah's plan. Amen. Amen. Yep. 2 things can be true at the same time. And that's so real. Don't forget that. And also don't forget to take away from this talk is that you have to be a little bit more complex in your thinking and your analysis. And it's not just black or white. It's not just I like this or I don't like that. It's more complex, and so be open to that. And think about the analogy I gave today about separation and doing for self. And so the next time you get asked about that, you can use that analogy. And that analogy, I actually learned that from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I just expanded on it and just, portrayed it as a woman who's in an abusive relationship. A man could be in an abusive relationship too. You would tell me to divorce. You would tell me to separate. You would tell me to say, hey, you got to get up out of there. And you probably would help me if you saw it in the right light. So, all right, peace and blessings, family. I'll let you all know how the awards ceremony goes this evening. I'm grinding and working and out here getting us this money to get us over the finish line. And I just appreciate you all's support. I thank you all for being here. And I hope you all go out, make a donation. And I apologize also, Thursday I had to cancel manifestation class just because I had to travel. I have some traveling to do next week. Next week we're going to be at the National Training Conference. I know you guys saw the video that I showed at the beginning of the show. So get your tickets to that. If you're out of town, you can attend virtually. And if you want to check out the video, then just when I end this, just start this over and you'll see the video for the National Training Conference at the beginning. It's so nice. We'll be there next weekend, or I'll be there part of the weekend. And then we've got some stuff going on with a big tour that we're doing on Saturday. So things are ramping up. All praises due to Allah. And so thank you for your donations and your continued support. If you know somebody that you called during the events that didn't come out, tell them to go and donate. And we have some more events coming up, inshallah, I'll let you guys know about. All right, so peace and blessings, family. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. And I'm going to get going with my day. Make sure you love somebody today. Make sure you do something special for somebody today. Be that walking example of love. Peace and blessings.